Hello students, welcome to online earthquake engineering classes. This is Professor Harush Patel. In this particular video, I'm dealing with lateral load resisting systems. Lateral load or lateral force resisting system. Okay. Here, let us know first how the flow of inertia forces to the foundation is there. Here in this particular picture, you can see here the lateral load or lateral forces or inertia forces on this particular floor slab will be transferred to the walls, directly transferred to the walls or columns. Then it is going to transfer to the foundations. Then it is going to transfer to the ultimately to the soil. The lateral inertia forces are transferred by the floor slab to the walls or columns, to the foundation, and finally to the soil system underneath. Here ultimately it is going to transfer to the soil. Here you can see the figure. Okay, now coming to lateral load resisting systems, lateral load or force resisting systems. Here the lateral load resisting systems is used to resist forces resulting from the wind or seismic activity. Lateral load resisting system means these are the systems which are going to resist earthquake forces, wind forces. That is the systems which are going to resist the lateral force, that is horizontal force. Lateral the horizontal force going to resist here. Again, the load resisting system must be of a closed loops. The load resisting system must be of closed loops here, unable to transfer all forces acting either vertically or horizontally to the ground. The system should be unable to transfer to the soil forces acting either vertically or horizontally. Either forces are acting horizontally or vertically, earthquake forces, it should transfer it to the ground safely. Okay, here three major types of lateral force resisting systems are there. Here three major types of force resisting systems are there. The first one is moment resisting building frame system, bare wall system, and dual system. Okay, first one is a moment resisting building frame system. Here while explaining in IS 1893-2016, I have told you about response reduction factor based on lateral load resisting systems. Okay, there in that column they have given you about moment resisting systems. In moment resisting system, you people have studied ordinary moment resisting system and ordinary moment resisting frame and special moment resisting frame. Like that, here in this particular video we are going to see all these things. Here the major types are moment resisting frame, bearing wall system, and dual system. First we are going to deal with moment resisting frame or moment resisting building frame system. Here load resisting systems, here have shown four types of load resisting systems here. Just for see, this is a simply supported system. If the system is simply supported, what happens if it is affected with a lateral load? Here if it is, the system is going to deflect like this. Okay, here in rigid frame, if the load is acting on this direction, lateral load is acting in this direction, if it is rigid, it is not going to deflect much. And here also, if we have provided with the bracing here for lateral load resisting system, if it is only simply supported, it is going to deflect it is going to deflect, or the wall is going to topple. Okay, here shear wall system, this is a shear wall system. For these are some lateral load resisting systems, I can say. Okay, to the next slide. Here the lateral load resisting systems. The first one is moment resisting frames. Here in moment resisting frames, this is, I can consider it as moment resisting frames. The force is acting in the lateral direction here. Yes, so in here lateral load resisting systems, moment resisting frames, the main what all of the criteria should pass if it is a moment resisting frame, those we are going to see it now. The first one is you can see the columns and girders joined by moment resisting connections. Columns and girders joined by moment resisting connections. The columns and beams, you can say, these are joined by moment resisting connections. The connections between the columns and beams are, they have joined in such a way that they have to resist the moment which are occurring at that particular ends. Okay, next, a lateral stiffness of the frame depends on the flexural stiffness of the beams. A lateral stiffness of the frame depends on the flexural stiffness of the beams, columns and connections. Okay, next, economical, this is economical for up to 10 to 15 stories buildings. This particular lateral load resisting system, that is moment frame resisting system, is economical for 10 to 15 stories buildings. More than that, it is going to uneconomical and it is not feasible. There, if you are designing for more than 15 stories, if you can go for shear walls and dual systems, we can discuss later on. Okay, next, well suited for reinforced concrete construction due to the inherent continuity in joints. It is well suited for reinforced concrete construction due to inherent continuity in the joints. Next, gravity loads are also resisted by the frame action. Here, not only lateral loads, gravity loads are also going to resist by this particular moment resisting frames. Okay, system is generally preferred by architects because they are relatively unobtrusive compared with shear walls and braced frames. Here, this system is generally preferred by architects because they are going to design in their own way. For that reason, this particular braced frames or moment resisting frames are simple frames. They can hide the columns and beams here, but if it is the bigger shear walls or braced frames are there, they cannot hide it. For that reason, these moment resisting frames are relatively unobtrusive compared with the shear walls and braced frames. They can hide this. Okay, in simple words I can say. Next, coming to lateral load resisting systems. In lateral load resisting systems, bearing wall system, the second one is bearing wall systems. Here you can see the picture. I have taken this as a bearing wall. Consider here, these are the bearing wall systems. Here, this is a moment resisting frame only. In that, there is bearing wall system. Okay, here let us see what all of the features are there in bearing wall system. Steel or a concrete frame infilled with concrete or masonry. Steel or a concrete frame infilled with concrete or a masonry. It means here you can see this is a steel or a concrete frame is already there. It is infilled with masonry or concrete. It is this portion is going to filled with masonry or filled, that is known as bearing wall system. Here, infill behaves as a strut in compression. This particular infill or a masonry is going to behave as a strut in compression. Tension contribution is ignored here. Here, the third is tension contribution is ignored actually. Next, due to a random nature of masonry infill, it is difficult to predict the stiffness and strength of this system. due to the random nature of this particular masonry infill, it is very difficult to predict the stiffness and strength properties of this particular system. Okay, for analyzing of this particular infilled walls, there is no general method there is no general method is there for analyzing of this particular bearing wall system. I can say no method of analyzing infilled frames has gained a general acceptance. Here it is. Okay, on to the next slide. That is in bearing wall system, coming to the shear walls. Coming to shear walls, wall element designed to take up vertical as well as in a plane horizontal forces. Here let us know first what is shear wall. Shear wall is a wall which is going to resist vertical load as well as horizontal load or lateral loads. You can say shear wall is going to resist vertical loads, that is gravity loads, as well as the lateral loads. Here you can see shear deformation is there. The force is, if the force is acting in this direction also, the shear wall is going to resist that particular load also. It means shear wall can be constructed in where earthquake prone areas and where wind effect is more. Wherever lateral force is going to act more, at that particular area you can construct with shear walls. Okay, here shear walls can be constructed by using concrete buildings and wood buildings and masonry buildings. These as I told, shear walls are going to resist lateral forces by shear deformation. By shear deformation they are going to resist the lateral forces. Shear walls are by having a stiffer buildings. Okay, come to the next slide. Here again, in shear walls generally constructed with the concrete. These shear walls are constructed with the concrete. Shear walls have high plane stiffness and strength. Shear walls are having high plane in plane stiffness and strength, well suited for tall buildings up to 35 stories. If you are going to construct more than 20-story or 15-story building, you have to use this particular shear walls. It is more suitable for building up to 35 stories. Okay, next, it can be used for around elevator and or stair course. These shear walls can be used for around the elevators or lift, you can say in general words, or staircases. You might have seen in wherever the lift opening will be there it will be constructed with that particular shear walls. The reinforced concrete walls will be there. Those walls are called as shear walls. Okay, reinforced concrete shear walls. Here you can see the picture, an excellent structural system. Here they are shown you. RC shear wall. This is a RC shear wall. These are the two columns. These are two columns. In between that, they have built the shear walls, and this is a foundation. Everything. You can see the footings also. In plan, they have explained here wherever they have placed this particular shear wall. The placing of the shear wall is also very important. I am going to discuss in the coming slides. Okay, this is the shear placing of the shear wall. It should be symmetric. It should not asymmetric. You cannot place here one more here like that. It should be symmetric like this. Okay. Again, shear walls. Here you can see this coming to layout and symmetry of the shear walls. If you provide a shear wall, whatever my cursor is there here, like this, if you provide, it will not use for that particular building. It is going to be safe only for this particular area. That is also not that, but there is no symmetry here. You can see. If you provide a shear wall like this, it is going to have a symmetrical action. Here you can see symmetry location of a shear walls along the perimeter of the building is desirable. Along the perimeter of the building, if you provide, it is going to useful. Here you can see asymmetric location of a shear walls not desirable. You can it is not useful actually. If you are placing here like this, it is not useful. If you have to place the shear wall in this particular fashion, that is along the perimeter. It's okay if there is a lift opening over here, you can provide shear wall here also. It is not like that. You need not to provide over here. You have to provide, but it to have a good strength for that particular building, for strength, and it should resist the lateral loads, means you have to provide like this. Okay. Buildings with the dual systems. Here you can see, here there is a wall also there, shear walls also, and moment frames also there. Moment frame as well as shear wall. Coming to building with the dual system, you people have seen this particular picture now. Building with the dual system means it is with moment resisting frame with the shear wall. This is a shear wall and this is moment resisting frame. Here you can see buildings with the dual system. This system consists of shear wall and moment resisting frame. Here, as name indicates, dual system it is. It is system is with moment resisting frame as well shear wall, or you can instead of shear wall you can use braced frame also. Okay. Here the two systems are designed to resist. Here the two systems are designed to resist the total design force in a proportion to their lateral stiffness, considering the interaction of the dual system at all floors levels. Here two systems are designed to resist the total design proportion of to their lateral stiffness. It is going to design by using both the systems, that is by using suppose by shear wall and the moment resisting frame, by considering the lateral forces and how much lateral stiffness that particular structure should have. By considering those things, it is going to design at all the levels, okay, or the floor levels, you can say. Next, the moment resisting frames are designed to independently resist at least 25% of design seismic base shear. These moment resisting frames are designed independently resist only moment resisting frames have designed in such a way that they will resist at least 25%. They have to resist at least 25% of design seismic base shear. In general, a dual system has a comparably higher value of R. R means, I think you people have remembered this. R means it is a response reduction factor for your lateral load resisting systems. It is given in IS 1893-2016. Okay, since a secondary lateral support system is available to assist the primary non-bearing lateral support system, here the value of R is higher for dual systems. Okay. Now coming to braced frames. Now you people have seen shear walls and dual systems. Now coming to braced frames. Here braced frames are basically vertical truss systems. Braced frames are basically vertical truss systems and almost exclusively steel or timber. These braced frames are almost exclusively steel or timber. Okay, these exclusively of steel or timber. Next is highly efficient use of material since forces are primarily axial. Here, highly efficient use of material since a forces of primarily axial creates a laterally stiff building with a relatively little additional material. The relatively additional material, it is going to create a laterally stiff building, the little additional material, by using a braced type of structures. Okay, bracing systems, using those bracing systems, it is going to create laterally stiff building. It is going to it will have a more stiffness in a lateral direction. Okay, good for buildings of any height. These braced frames or braced structures are good for buildings of any height you can use. It is not that only for tall buildings you should use braced frames. It is for shorter buildings only you need to use the braced frame. It is not like that. You can use it for any height, maybe for internal or external. The braced frames can be used for internal as well as also for external. Next, coming to this, braces used to resist a lateral loads may be of steel or concrete. Here you can see in the picture, these are the photo is showing you the braced frame structures. Here also you can see these are total diagonal in the form of X. The bracings are given here. The bracings are in the shape of like this. Okay, inverted V shape, you can say. The force is acting in a lateral direction. Here, damage can occur when braces buckle. Here, damage can occur when that particular braces, if buckle, the damage to the structure can happen. Stiffer than pure frame. It is, if you are providing a bracing over here, this particular building is more stiffer than the only pure frame. Okay, this is regarding your lateral load resisting system. Till now what you people have studied means, first one is lateral load resisting systems. In that moment resisting frame, the three major parts, that is moment resisting frame and bearing walls and braced frames. Okay, sorry, dual systems, moment resisting frames, bearing walls and dual systems you people have studied. Okay, this is regarding lateral load resisting systems. Okay, okay, see you in the next class. Thank you.